Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Erickson TV. Curtis with Lauren here. How you doing?
Hey everybody.
All right. Lauren, as you know, as the timing of this video, we're just about at April 1st.
That's true.
That's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
And
yes.
We're going to talk about the pros and cons of filing an extension.
Yes.
You've been working on taxes this season?
Yes.
And, have you been getting some questions about extensions?
Well, some people seem to have some pretty big misperceptions about extensions. Like more than a few people seem to think that if you file an extension, you don't have to pay it right now.
Well, so there's two answers to that. You actually do not have to pay.
Right.
But there's a cost to that.
Right.
I think that, if I understand your question, their question is, if I file an extension and don't pay, I won't get penalized.
Right. Yeah. Right? Exactly.
And so if you kind of think about it, reverse the course. If you could delay filing and not pay till later and not get penalized, why wouldn't everybody do it?
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I want to talk a little bit about specifics about what the cost of or the cons of filing an extension and then the pros. So the cons are that you can actually file it. We will actually do this on your behalf if you would like to file an extension. We do it electronically. There's no requirement to pay your taxes due at that time, and actually for a lot of people they don't know what their taxes are due when they file an extension. However, after the return is eventually filed by no later than October 15th, if there is a balance due at that time, there will be a penalty based on an annualized rate of about 9%. So it's about 0.75% per month. So not horrendous, but it is a cost. Right. Now that's a con. So there is a cost if you do owe money. So a lot of people, if they think that they just can't get all their tax papers together and they want to file an extension, sometimes it's a good idea to try to come up with an estimate and go ahead and pay some money in with the extension. That will alleviate the penalty problem. Right. So that's a con. The pros of filing an extension, I think, are as follows, and I've done this from experience. There's a myth out there, and I think there's some truth to it, that the IRS actually starts their audit programming from their computer from right now. Oh, okay. And so they basically have a certain quota of amount of returns that they're going to pick for auditing. So if you think about it, when you file later, you might be farther down that list if you're worried about being audited. So I'm just bringing that up to you. That is a potential pro. If you're worried about being audited, that may reduce your audit risk. I think more importantly, and this is the biggest thing, if we're coming down to how busy we are right now. Yes, yeah, exactly. Very, very stressful, very busy. People we're doing your taxes right now. We're going to get them done if all the information's there. We're going to get it done. But the actual ability to organize and have all your records and expenses and deductions in place, if an extension allows you enough time to do a better job at that, I think that's a pro to follow an extension, versus trying to rush something out and not having the adequate deductions. How does that resonate?
Well, yeah, and also for some people who don't have all their paperwork, but they already know that, well, for instance, somebody who's missing a K1, but they already know there's going to be a small loss on the K1. Okay, you can pay your taxes now, then with an estimate along with the extension. That way you don't pay any penalty. But you also don't get sort of red flagged by the IRS that you filled out an incomplete return. Or, the IRS doesn't flag you just because you filed an extension. Lots of people file extensions.
Exactly. In fact, about a third of our client base files extensions. And,
exactly.
And the reason that is because there's some complication. There's like I said, a K1's a big one. Right. Or it's just that there's been changes and the records aren't quite ready or something like that. So, okay. Very good. So to finish up this episode, I want to say that there's not necessarily a lot of problems if you do file an extension, except for that one interest cost. It's a 0.75% monthly cost. So I want to thank you all for watching this episode of Erickson TV, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.